Hello everybody, another beautiful day on the allotment. It's not quite as cold as some of the other days. It's lovely and fresh and crisp and a beautiful day for getting some jobs done. So come and join me and see what I'm doing today. So this is our strawberry bed, small strawberry bed on plot 1 that we put in some raised beds in here because we had a lot of bindweed, so we put some raised beds in and filled it with some topsoil. And the thing about importing soil, whether it's topsoil unless it's sterilised or soil from anywhere else, is you don't quite know what you're importing. And I've noticed that as time's gone on, we've got a lot of weeds coming up. We've had some stinging nettles, and now I've noticed an awful lot of these creeping buttercups here, and sometimes it's a bit hard to distinguish the buttercups from the strawberries, but they all need to come out. And I was going to do this job the other day, but I was a bit tired after doing all the paths, so this is today's job. We'll be putting it all in, getting all the weeds out, chopping back some of the strawberry plants. There's probably a load of runners in here as well, so another load of runners to plant up and give away, but it will look a lot better. This is going to be a very big labour of love, because having looked even further into this bed, I see that there are absolutely tons of this creeping buttercup. And the most important thing is you take out all of the roots, because it will just send off shoots, just like the strawberry does. It sends off runners and just plonks itself in. And some of them are going to be easy to pull out, and some of them I'm going to have to lift. Oh my, this one's a biggie. There you go. Well, this is going to take more than one day's work, I think. But anyway, every little helps, so slowly we will get these things out and clear the bed. Well, I've spent the whole of my time down here getting the creeping marigolds out, and it's a far harder job than I thought it was going to be, and I still haven't finished, but I'm calling it a day, as I'm going to see creeping marigolds in my sleep tonight. But there's only that small patch in the corner there to do, so I can see that the end is possible, and there's some gaps opened up now for some of the strawberry runners to be put in once I've tidied up a lot of these dead leaves. So when this bed is finished, I will film again here, but for now I'm going home to put my feet up and have a nice cup of tea. It's another beautiful morning, and I am doing the second most hated job that I have, which is cleaning and disinfecting my pots and trays to get ready for sowing. Now, so I kind of get off all the dirt in this bucket here using the hose on a spray, and that gets a lot of the dirt, cobwebs, bits and pieces. I've got an old washing up brush which I use as well to give it a bit of a scrub, but I do that, and then in this other bucket over here I have some mild detergent with some Milton in it, and this water is just tepid warm. That's not because this job needs to be tepid warm, it's like that because my hands go in and out of it, so it's really for me, so the water isn't freezing ice cold. So I've been storing these trays for some time and keep meaning to get on and do a few each time, but I don't. So now I'm left with the job of doing a whole stack of them. And as I said, it's my second hated job after cleaning the greenhouse. So there is a lot of debate about whether you need to do this or not. And to be quite frank, I do. And as I said, there's a lot of debate about whether you really need to do that if you're using good compost, etc. But I also read a lot of people after sowing talking about plants dampening off and other problems. And I must say, I've never had that problem because of cleaning the pots. And it reduces one of the problems. So if you do have dampening off or something like that, or a disease or a fungus on your plants, then at least I know all of the equipment that I'm using is sterilised, so that rules out one potential problem. I don't know, I think the jury's out of whether you need to do it or not. I did try one year not to do it, and I got very twitched about putting fresh, young, beautiful seedlings, which I'd taken a long time to grow, into dirty pots. So I don't know. What's your thoughts? Do you clean your pots or do you just replant into them? But can I just say, if you are going to clean your pots, do it little and often, and don't do as I do, which is save them up. They collect in a huge pile and then you have to do a mountain, which is probably why I hate this job, but it's a necessity. So like cleaning the greenhouse, I just got to bite the bullet and get on with it. Anyway, it's a lovely day for it. I meant to also say I clean the pots when somebody gives me pots, because often somebody will come up and say, oh, I've got these spare pots, do you want them? And if they're a kind of size I use a lot, I will take them. So I always definitely clean those. And often if I've got pots I want to keep from buying plants from a garden centre or a nursery or somewhere like that, I'll clean those too, because often from nurseries they're usually clean, but from gifts from other kind people, I don't know how long they've been lying around, what they've been growing in it, what kind of soil. So definitely I do clean those. I really need a pair of those waders that fishermen wear, just because I'm getting absolutely soaked. But never mind, I know that I'll have nice clean trays at the end of it. I forgot the other reason that I wash my pots, as well as diseases for the plants. I can make sure that the trays are not harbouring any unwanted hibernating black fly, white fly, slugs, snails or anything else. So that's the other reason why I do it, because I have before now planted a tray of seedlings and come back and they've all been gone because there's been a tiny little slug underneath in the cracks of the trays. Good morning from a beautiful sunny frosty morning on the allotment. Welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy today's journey with me. I'm planting up some strawberries and doing a little bit of harvesting. The soil is absolutely frozen, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, because I don't actually want to damage the soil by walking on it, but there's always little jobs to be done, so come along. These are my old carrot beds, which are old water tanks taken out of loft conversions, and I've been using them over the last few years to plant my carrots in, because I haven't really had a lot of success in planting them in the ground. But last year I had a really good year, so I'll be planting in the soil in the ground again. So it's just deciding how to use these 3 tanks. Well, I've actually got more than 3 tanks, but these 3 at the back. So I got some extra strawberries, which I didn't actually order, which I showed you in a previous vlog, that I didn't order, but there are 12 of them, and I've been wondering what to do, because I've ordered enough strawberries for my strawberry beds. So I've decided that I shall pop them in this tank here, this old tank, and make it into a strawberry bed, and we'll see what the strawberries are like, and if we like them and they're really nice strawberries, we'll just leave them there. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Because I haven't fed this box for a while, I'm just going to put some chicken feed, chicken pellets on, and a little bit of fish blood and bone into here, and give it a good stir in. I'll plant the strawberries, and then I'll cover it with some something to protect it, because the foxes will smell this and then they'll come over and try and dig it up. So I shall do that as I'm planting. That should have stirred it up a bit. Just straighten that out now, just level it out, and then I shall plant the strawberries in here. I've got 12 strawberry plants, so I'm hoping to get them all in here. It might be a little bit more of a squash than usual, but if they're nice, then we'll make some additional space for them. But this will be a good little trial bed, so they can go in here. So I did the other lot, which is just to trim the roots, and then pop them into the holes, but with the crowns above the soil, like that. It's let me show you another one. There you go. So I'm just going to trim the roots a bit. I'll pop this one in here. So no deeper than that, no deeper than here, so that the crowns are well above the soil. Because if the crowns get wet, they rot, and then that's the last of your strawberry plants. So I shall finish this tub and show you them at the end. Hi there, by the way. So I always try to, let me get out of the shadows. So I always try to keep bits of racking like this, because it's great for covering these beds and protecting them, sometimes from the foxes or the squirrels. Wait a second. So protecting them from the squirrels or the birds or anyone who wants to dig up the bed. So perfect. So hopefully that will give it a bit of protection whilst the strawberries are taking root and establish themselves. So I brought down some cloves of garlic from home that were last year's crop, and they're still really good and solid, which is great. They're quite big, but I've got some boxes and I'm going to just pop them in there and let them grow, so that we've got some wet garlic in the sort of early summertime. I've got a lot of garlic, so we won't be using it all before, and I'm going to also blend a lot and put in the freezer, So this would be a great use for it. So great stuff. I got these 3 fish boxes from our local fish shop free of charge, and they're great for planting lettuces and things like that, which I will do later on in the year. But they've been sitting here empty, and I thought, well, why don't I plant some garlic in them? Not for ripening as bulbs, but I can use them as early sort of wet garlic. So that's what I'm going to do. I've planted this one up already, as I had some cloves left over from when I put my own crops in this year. So now I'm going to get ready these 2 boxes and plant the garlic that I bought back from home, and yeah, we should get a little crop of something, I'm hoping. Why not? It's space not being used, there's nothing to lose, and we're having some fantastic frosts, so it should be great. So these are the garlic cloves that I'm going to plant in this box, and I'm going to plant them fairly deep, as deep as I can get them. Make sure you got them the right way up. That's the bottom, and you can see this is just sprouting, so that's the top. So that will go in here. I should be able to get 3 rows in. You don't have to worry about them being so close, because they're not going to grow as bulbs. They're just going to go in for the green. So that's plenty big enough. What's that, about 2 inches apart? So all you need to do is press them nice and deep, cover them up, and that's it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you on my next one. Until then, take care, happy gardening.